Today, we're diving into something pretty cool, a tool that can actually give our written words a voice. And I'm not talking about a robotic one, but a really powerful, natural-sounding voice. It's all thanks to Amazon Polly.
So think about this for a second. What if all your digital content could just speak for itself? Imagine your blog posts, your website, even your training guides actually talking to your audience. How would that completely change the game for how people connect with what you create? Well, that's not just what if scenario anymore. It's real. And that's exactly what we're going to dig into today. We're going to look at the tech that lets you do just that. Give your text a voice, making everything you create way more engaging and, honestly, a lot more accessible. And the magic behind this? It's a service called Amazon Polly. So what is it? It's basically a cloud service that uses some really smart deep learning to take any text you throw at it and spit out speech that sounds, well, incredibly human. So how does it pull off that natural sound? The secret sauce here is something called deep learning. Think of it like a type of AI that lets computers learn and process information kind of like our own brains do. This is the key difference, right? It's what makes Polly sound like a person and not like those clunky robotic voices we all know from the past. All right, so we know what it is, but how does it actually work? Let's get into the nuts and bolts of how Polly's AI turns your text into speech. Okay, step one is super simple. It all starts with your text. You just feed it whatever you've got. A script, an article, a quick message, you name it. And what's really cool is that it works with a ton of different languages. Once you've got your text, it gets sent over to the Amazon Polly service. This is like the central hub, the main engine where all the heavy lifting starts to happen. Now, this is where the real magic comes in. The AI engine gets to work, and if you choose the neural engine, which you totally should, it uses that deep learning we talked about to generate speech that has real, human-like rhythm and intonation. It's not just reading words off a page, it's actually figuring out the tone and context. It understands the text. And what you get at the end is a super high-quality audio file. The best part? You've got options. You can stream it right away, download it as an MP3, or even save it directly to the cloud. It's ready to use however and wherever you need it. Okay, so that's the theory, right? But talking about it is one thing. The best way to really get it is to see how it works in the real world. So let's do just that. Let's walk through a practical example. So let's set the scene. Imagine your CEO writes this awesome annual thank you email to the entire staff, but you've got this problem. Your sales team is always on the road, driving from client to client. They're not going to read a long email. So the challenge is, how do you get that message to them in a way they'll actually hear it? You need to turn that email into an audio message. And you know what? It's actually super simple to do. First, you just pop into the Polly console. Then you'll want to pick the neural engine. That's the one that gives you that really top-notch human-sounding voice. After that, you pick your language and a voice you like. For this, let's say we go with Amy, who has a British English accent. You literally just copy and paste the CEO's email text right in there, hit the button, and boom, you've got your audio. So here's what the message says. And hey, by coincidence, our fictional CEO's name is also Amy. It starts off pretty standard, dear staff, thank you for all your hard work. But then it gets really good. There's a little surprise in there that nobody was expecting. It goes on, and as an extra reward this year, I have decided to give you all an extra 5 days of vacation. Can you imagine hearing that message while you're stuck in traffic? That's the kind of announcement that's going to make someone's day. It's the perfect example of how delivering a message this way can have a massive impact. Okay, so that's a pretty cool corporate example, right? But this technology is for way more than just company announcements. Let's zoom out a bit and see all the other ways Polly is being used out there. Everything from blogs to, really importantly, accessibility. I mean, look at the range here. You can turn your blog posts into podcasts, basically, so people can listen while they commute. You can build out entire e-learning courses with voiceovers. But for me, one of the most powerful uses is for website accessibility. It can literally read a website out loud, which is a total game changer for anyone with visual impairments. It's about making the internet truly for everyone. All right, we've gone through a lot. Let's boil it all down to the key things you really need to remember. So what's the bottom line? First, Polly is all about that deep learning. That's its secret to sounding so human. Second, the uses are huge. Think narrating blogs, e-learning, and especially making the web more accessible. Third, it's easy to use. You just give it text, pick a voice, and it does all the work. And last, the audio it creates is super flexible. You can stream it, download it, save it,
whatever you need.
And that leaves us with a really big question to think about. We've seen how AI can create a voice that's getting harder and harder to tell apart from a real person's. So, as these voices get even more human like, what do you think is next? What's the future of how we communicate in this digital world?